Kanye West, born in 1977 in Atlanta and raised in Chicago, his journey from a beat-making prodigy to a global icon has been anything but ordinary. We're here today to explore a wild thought experiment on 5 of his most talked about crimes, imagining them under the harshest prison laws of different historical eras to see how long he might have been locked up. Before we dive into our fictional courtroom, let's remember that Kanye's path has never been linear. From producing hits on Jay-Z's albums to creating his own chart-topping records, from high-fashion forays to jaw-dropping social media moments.
Did you follow me?
I just watched you right there in the corner.
Yeah, but I still got rights as a man.
Okay,
I still got rights as a man.
I'll stop you. Bring your family, bro. I know.
But what if laws from the past judged some of his eyebrow-raising actions today? Let's start with the first scenario, the 2025 Grammys, where Kanye arrived with Bianca Censori, who wore a barely-there mesh dress that had social media buzzing for weeks. In our real world, it was just a fashion shocker that launched a million tweets. No one pressed charges. However, jump back to the year 1900 in California, when public nudity and indecency were taken so seriously. The judge back then might have accused both Kanye and Bianca of indecent exposure if they saw the outfit as a deliberate moral offense. And if a feisty prosecutor insisted on making an example of them, a felony-level charge for lewd conduct could carry up to 3 years in prison. In this hypothetical timeline, Kanye might be seen as the instigator or the mastermind behind it all, which could stack up the blame against him. So we're placing his maximum potential sentence here at 3 years. On to scenario number 2, Kanye's 2025 X Rant. Yep, the platform previously known as Twitter, where he declared, "I love hip and I'm a Nazi," sparking the kind of viral uproar that only Kanye can. Today, in a world that protects free speech, at least to a certain extent, those statements might lead to severe backlash, lost partnerships, and public outrage, but they wouldn't necessarily be a prosecutable offense under current United States law. Let's time travel to the 1940s, during the heart of World War II, when patriotic fervor was at its zenith, and the Smith Act was weaponized against those even suspected of sedition. Praising the Nazis in that era would have been more than just outrageous. It would have been seen as a threat to national unity and security. Under the Smith Act, someone publicly stating admiration for Adolf Hitler or Nazi ideology could be charged with sedition, facing up to 20 years if the words were interpreted as supporting the enemies of the United States. So, in this grim alternate reality, Kanye might have faced a staggering maximum of 2 decades locked away. Ever wonder how many years your favorite celebrity would do behind bars in a certain year? Or even just the amount of years you would face for a certain charge in a certain year? I've provided that with the link in the description for you curious history law enthusiasts. Let's rewind even more for scenario 3, a real-life event that took place in 2022 when Kanye allegedly punched a fan outside an LA club, supposedly breaking the fan's nose. In our current era, no severe legal consequences stuck. Maybe the case didn't have enough evidence, or perhaps it was settled quietly. But imagine that altercation happening in the rough and tumble of the 1880s Wild West in California.
Then there was times when you had to shoot. And the way we done it was this way. That's all I got.
The line between self-defense and flat-out battery was often drawn by whichever sheriff happened to be in charge. If authorities deemed Kanye's hypothetical nose-breaking assault as felony battery back in the 1880s, he might have been looking at a maximum 7-year sentence, especially if the victim or local witnesses painted a dramatic picture of the injury. Now, for our 4th scenario, we hop to 2008. the year Kanye got into a scuffle with a paparazzo at Los Angeles International Airport, famously smashing the photographer's camera.
Yo, what's up, Jesus? I'm a big fan, bro. I love your work.
I appreciate it, but don't talk to me. I don't want to hear paparazzi talk to me, and tell everybody never talk.
What about the Throne 2 with Jay-Z? People are pumped.
Yo, I said don't.
Back then, he managed to avoid prison time by striking a deal: probation, community service, and a promise to behave. But let's toss this incident into the 1920s, when paparazzi didn't exist in the modern sense, but tabloid photographers and scandal sheets were starting to pop up. If a high-profile star smashed a photographer's equipment during Prohibition-era Los Angeles, prosecutors could slap on both vandalism and battery charges, which, if combined and escalated to felonies, might land him as many as 5 years behind bars. The legal system in the 1920s was no joke. Finally, we reach Scenario 5. In 2023, Kanye's Donda Academy made headlines as some former teachers accused the institution of unsafe working conditions, lack of windows, poor ventilation, alleged retaliation if anyone complained, and all sorts of questionable administrative decisions.
The rules at the school are nuts. They say that kids only eat sushi, and they can't even eat it on a table or chairs because Kanye doesn't allow tables and chairs, or definitely no chairs. He doesn't like stairs as well, so no classes can be on the second floor. He apparently won't allow crossword puzzles to be played or coloring paper. He requires the kids to dress in all black.
While in our present-day reality, this led to civil lawsuits rather than criminal charges. Let's suppose this was happening in the 1910s, an era that was rolling out the early framework for labor laws, but still hit employers hard if they were found guilty of criminal negligence. If a jury believed Kanye's leadership was willfully jeopardizing faculty and students, the legal system of that time might have deemed him personally liable, handing down a maximum 10-year sentence to set an example for all other employers. So where does that leave us in our hypothetical tally of old-school prison time? Let's do the math. The 2025 Grammys indecent exposure scenario could bring Kanye 3 years. That firebrand 1940s sedition case would tack on 20 years. The 1880s assault on a fan might slam him with 7 more. The 1920s camera-smashing fiasco could lock him down for 5 years. And the 1910s labor law violations over Donda Academy conditions might bring in 10 years. Add them all up and you get 45 years of hypothetical consecutive sentencing. That's nearly half a century behind bars in this imaginary journey through time and law. Of course, all of this is just a wild what-if, exploring how different legal eras might react to Kanye's modern controversies. Make sure you like, comment your favorite celebrity, and subscribe for more videos.